Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Art and Mental Health, episode 8 I think this one is. Just continuing with the comments. Now, Weep1029 writes, when I make a watercolour painting, it's like a form of meditation. The nature of the medium compels me to focus, and this is a great relief on my brain. It took me a while to get comfortable enough to take full advantage of this. Mainly from fear of failure, and I've spoken about that many a time. Fear of failure, it's a terrible affliction, but lots and lots of practice. And what I always advocate is using cheap materials, because then you're not as worried then about wasting paper or paint or brushes, whatever. So they continue. I became more relaxed and approached my painting sessions as practice sessions rather than performance sessions. I think that's very important. The removal of the expectation of a finished artwork at the end of the session is freeing. I think, yeah, exactly what they put. I think sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves. Every painting should be an absolute masterpiece. Often the practice will morph into a finished artwork, which is great. But it happens organically now, rather than me trying to force it. They're very important. Don't ever try and force anything, really. Just let it happen naturally. Just go with the flow. In this way, I get some time in the flow state, which is my favourite and most effective method of therapy. Where I stumble is having the motivation to get started. I think that's the problem with a lot of people. It's just getting the ball right. It's like going down the gym. Once you're there, I think you're all right, but it's just making the effort to get there in the first place, because I think no one looks forward to getting to the gym. I'm grateful for you for making your video tutorial so inspiring and approachable. I very rarely make it the whole way through one of your videos in one sitting, because I always end up painting. Thanks for your comments. I think a lot of us relate to a lot of what we've written down there. I think the most important thing you mentioned was to just let it happen organically. Don't try and force it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and just think of it as just a happy way of passing time, really. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Even stuff that doesn't, even when paintings don't come out how you want them to, you always learn something. Every time I do a painting, there's always something I can pick out within the painting. I could have done that better. I could have done that better. I could have improved on this. I could have done that a different way. Not every painting's going to hang up in the Tate modern. You know what I mean? It's just relax and just let it happen naturally. So moving on, Eric writes, I run a small art group and I know people have been helped because of it. It gives you a chance to chat to them as well. I think joining an art group is a fantastic way of meeting new people, sharing work, projects, ideas, bouncing methods and words off one another. Great way not only to practice your hobby, but to help mentally as well, especially if there's people within the group who are suffering from similar afflictions, and it helps you realise you're not alone, you're not the only person in the world suffering. Lots of others are as well, and I think joining a group would really help anyone under these circumstances. So thanks for your comments, Eric. So moving on, Phil writes, thanks for addressing mental illness. I struggle with chemical imbalance, depression. I paint and write poetry for therapy. It helps me focus and at the same time distracts from the me syndrome. It's sad that a person who suffers from mental illness is stereotyped. Because of stereotyping, people put themselves in a closet and don't talk much about it out of fear of rejection, social avoidance. Thanks for your comment, Phil, and it is true. There's a lot of stereotyping, but I do feel that in recent times, I think the tide might just slightly be turning now, because there's a lot more awareness. I think people like Prince Harry and William have spoken up. I know Harry himself about his own struggles, and it just brought a general more awareness of the issue to the wider population. So hopefully the tide is starting to turn, and we can start to see some better understanding of what people are going through who are more unfortunate than ourselves. So I'll leave it there on this episode. If you can relate to anything you've heard me read out today, then leave your own comments below in the description, and I'll read them out in a future episode. So thanks for listening, all the best, and I'll see you again soon.